Hey guys, and welcome to another Let's Play. This time we're going to be playing through Mega Copter, Blades of the Goddess. Now, a few months back, possibly last year, we took a look at this game, but we played the early access demo on Steam, and it's a pretty fun little indie nod to games like Desert Strike, Jungle Strike, even things like Choplifter, old school helicopter shoot 'em ups, basically. I have recently gone through the entire game. I have already completed it, and I had a really good time. I've unlocked all of the achievements already, and this game, it surprised me. It's a short little romp, and from a story perspective, there's some odd little random bits going on here. It's not just military helicopter shoots everybody in the face. There's actually quite a lot of tongue-in-cheek sort of Aztec stuff going on, and with Aztec gods and alien invaders, and yeah, it's an interesting, fun time. It's not perfect. There's a few things that I'm not super happy with. Mainly the controls, but we'll get into that when we start playing. Anyway, let's go campaign. We are going to go new campaign. Oh wow. Oh right. I was like, hearts 0. What does that mean? Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll explain the hearts a little bit later. So campaign. Let's go. So we've got chillin'. Apparently this was added later because normal mode was seen as being too hard. I don't know. I've only played it on this difficulty. I did wonder if we was going to unlock a harder difficulty afterwards. That didn't happen. Now, this game is actually pretty hard. If you're familiar with the original Strike games, you'll kind of have a rough understanding of what I mean by difficulty. However, the difficulty in this game is a little bit unfair, shall we say, at times. However, that is balanced by the fact that we have in-mission checkpoints. So, yeah, it's not too bad. I'm not sure why the mouse is on the screen. Anyway. Let's go. Corporal Jack Copter reporting for duty. That's us. Yeah, it's a very stern, serious-looking man. At ease, Jack. Duty is for soldiers. General Ramstaff. This unit isn't about duty. It's about pure thirst for blood. I'm only here because of that thing that happened during my last deployment. I heard about the incident, and I'm impressed. I can smell a killer. I know you have what it takes. Welcome to Megacopter. Yeah, we'll find out a little bit more about Megacopter and all that stuff later. You asked for me, sir? It's time for your first training mission, Jack. Use the mission map to select your next mission. So this is our helicopter. It's a interesting beast, which we will find out more about later. You can see all the Aztec iconography behind us. Yes, and that's not just for show. This isn't just one of Indiana Jones's left behinds. This is there's some serious stuff going on here. Now, I do like this little screen. I like the way our helicopter kind of like opens up as it lands. All the components are ready for maintenance and whatnot. I like it. So, mission map tutorial. Let's go. Learn the basic controls. Unfortunately, we can't skip this, sadly. And it looks like we have rather basic... We have a rather basic menu behind us at the moment, but that will change. Time to show me those piloting skills, Jack. Fly to that waypoint over there. Alright. So... Oh dear. This game, especially at high frame rates, is very, very twitchy to control, but I'm sure, well, it's like riding a bike, isn't it? You don't forget. Alright, there we go. Cool. So, waypoints, you say. Now, I'm guessing he means this one here. Now, use the crane to pick up the armor crate. Those familiar with the Strike games will be very familiar with that mechanic. Beginner's luck. Pick up those 2 ammo crates next. Alright. Give me the missiles. Yum, yum. Weapons. This lesson won't be as easy, son. We're doing target practice. Destroy 10 barrels in the shooting range by the old red barn. No problem. Here I go. The old barn, huh? So we can bring up a large map, which tells us our ammunition loadout as well. We've got plasma weapons, we've got laser weapons, and we have missiles. Each tool is good for a different type of enemy. However, it's not super important. You can use anything on everything, really. Now, that will be something that we explain a little bit later. Now, attacking ground targets, we use the left trigger. Attacking air targets, we use the right trigger. This is something that takes a little bit of getting used to, actually, especially when the action gets heavy, and the action does get heavy. It gets mental. Alright, let's start taking these things out. Boom, baby. Oh my god, what have I done? Ah, whoops. I thought those barrels were empty. We've rigged up some captured drones for air target practice. Destroy 2 of the drones, Jack, to prove your air attack training. Okay, these drones, no problem. Now, our machine gun has unlimited ammo, but it does require reloading every now and again. Nice aim, Jack. I knew you'd put those defenseless drones in their place. Thank you, sir. That's it for today, Jack. Use the helipad for a smooth landing. Yeah, smooth landing. Alright, once all of our objectives are complete, we can land on the helipad. There isn't... It is quite different to Strike. It is. I think this game is a lot more arcadey in the way it plays. It's not quite as super serious. 2 minutes. We had some suspicious activity reported outside of town near good old Bobo's gas station. For your first real mission, you must fly over there and investigate. You'll find the new location on the computer map. Sounds simple enough? Let's take a little walk over. Ancient enemies. Oh my. Jack makes contact with an ancient enemy. Let's do it. Let's ride. Enemy forces have been reported northeast of your position. Locate them and report. Yes, Captain. Alright then. Now we can just go north. In fact, north is basically the only way we can go here. You can see the map is actually decently large as well. My god. No. Sir. Jack, waste them. Alright, we can do this. Let's cut these guys down. It's going to take me a hot minute to get reacclimatized with the controls. Good shooting, Jack. Looks like they were protecting that surveillance building. Fly near it and use your crane to capture it. Stay near the surveillance building to complete the capture. You got it, boss. Right, let's go swipe this. Now we just got to stay around in this circle. And Robert's your father's brother. Hacking all the towers in your mission will reveal the entire map. Check your mission map to hunt down the remaining reptoids and clear the area. Reptoids? Oh my. So now we have to wipe out the rest of the enemies. This isn't a standard objective to kill all the enemies. It's actually... I think this is the only time we actually have to do that, if memory serves. And that's essentially because enemies respawn in this game. These crates will hide supplies. We start off with rockets and the machine gun. Rockets are an area effect weapon. Very nice. Now armor is something that you will notice gets stripped away really bloody quick. Kind of like the old Strike games. Now, as the game goes on, we will get upgrades. These rocket guys suck. Oof. Watch out, they have missiles! So do we, boss. So do we. we will get upgrades with money, which will be explained in the not too distant future. But you never get to the point, at least I thought, where you felt crazy overpowered. It seems like you're just constantly struggling to keep up with the enemies. Now, it's not necessarily that the enemies are tough, it's the sheer quantity of them that makes things challenging. Reptoid bastards! Ooh, nasty. That with how the aiming system works, it makes things delicate, shall we say. So, your right stick not only rotates your helicopter, it also chooses where you're aiming in distance. This took me a while to get used to. I don't know how, but Desert Strike did it better. Anyway, it doesn't ruin the game. It's absolutely possible to get used to it. It's just savage. Alright, let's continue murking everything. Now, this is definitely a game to use a controller with as well. You can play it keyboard and mouse, but it's a little bit more finicky. You're living on borrowed time, humans. Bastards! This operation was centuries in the making. There is no hope. Jack, I've heard enough. Execute that piece of shit. Killed the talking lizard? You heard me. Oh, it's so silly. Alright, new objective. Now, missions can be replayed as well, which is cool. And you can go back and harvest money. Because one of the pickups that we'll get introduced to later is cash. Pizza Bear tokens. And we need Pizza Bear tokens to upgrade our helicopter. I was going to say ship, but it is. Well, I mean, I suppose it is a ship. And we need quite a lot of tokens as well. So, to get all of the upgrades when I was playing it myself, I did have to grind out a couple of the missions. Not too much, but, you know, there's also a whole skill tree, a whole weapon that I don't think's really worth it. But then you can comfortably play the whole game with just the machine gun. So, yeah, upgrades aren't super important. Not all of them anyway. Sir, can I take a minute to process what just happened? No! Let's get over to the operator's shop and reload our guns. You're going back in there. Alright. Let's go to the operator's shop. Sup? So, yeah, we got, like, bigger and better guns. Helicopter upgrades. Whatever. You take plastic? Read the sign. Pizza Bear tokens only. I guess that makes sense. Stable currency. I'll spot you a few tokens. No ice cream, though. Whatever. Alright, so we can upgrade utility, which is essentially just things like armor and speed, that kind of thing. Probably the most useful upgrades, not gonna lie. Then we have our primary, which is our chain gun. We can upgrade the chain gun into a Gatling gun a little bit later on, but yeah, I'm not sure what one I prefer. Obviously, we start off with rockets. Rockets are probably one of the better sub-weapons. And then we have energy. So we have a laser cannon. The laser cannon is freaking deadly. But I don't know about this one, man. It's one of those... It doesn't really add much to the game. So energy is essentially better against armor. There are not many armored targets in this game. Plasma. This does bonus damage versus biological. Rockets just do explosive area damage. Now the plasma is a pretty good weapon. It's fun, but at the moment we can only have a primary weapon and one secondary. Later on we'll be able to upgrade so we can have two secondaries, which is pretty good because all the extra ammo is welcome. So let's go for improved ceramic armor. Let's go. You can see the upgrade tree is locked. It is locked behind progress. Next, check out the armory where you can change your loadouts. Yep, so we can go over to the armory and switch our weapons. As you obtain new weapons and abilities, they can be equipped here. Yeah, but we've only got the chain gun and the area rockets. Okay, so let's get out there. We have to hurry. 2 Reptoid tanks have moved into the old downtown. Okay. Boy meets Megacopter. Let's go. Head out and be ready for hostiles. You got it, boss. Let's go on a little adventure. Killing those reptoids felt good. Who said that? Who said what? Whoa, sir, talking helicopter. I see you two have met. Don't worry, I'm easy to get along with. As long as I'm fed regularly. What does that mean? Blood, Jack. I need blood. If you kill a lot of people for me, you'll be glad you did. Don't, and you'll regret it. Tell him about the Aztec dodge. I'm equipped with an Aztec dodge that moves us rapidly through the air, fast enough to dodge bullets even. I can only do it once, and then I have to recharge. If you get me some more blood, that could change. Yep, so our helicopter is possessed with some kind of Aztec god, and we have this dodge maneuver now that we can only use once and then has to recharge. You can unlock different abilities going later on in the game. This one, would you believe it, at least from what I've played and experienced, is the best ability in the game. So we will be sticking to that. We can actually get 2 abilities as the game goes on. Oh god, not used to how useless the machine gun is to start off with. So there are our Pizza Bear tokens. Now you can shoot the missiles down using the air-to-air combat mode, which is something that I learned way too late in the game, to be honest. Alright, let's go grab some cash. Always worth exploring these maps thoroughly, just for that extra cash. As I said, you need a lot of it. Now the one of the biggest control methods that I do not like is the fact that we have to cycle our weapons, unlike with like the Desert Strike games, for instance, where each weapon was just on a different button. That was a much better mechanic, if you ask me. I mean, there's certainly enough buttons here. Come on, baby. Boom, she's gone. And to be honest, most of the time, instead of cycling your weapon, it is just easier to just go with the main gun that you're using. Which is a bit of a shame. Bit of a missed opportunity, I think. Because as I said, there's definitely plenty of buttons on a controller. Can we destroy these? We can. Now visually I think the game's quite nice. It's basic, but everything is proper sharp and proper nice. Very well defined. We like it. So we have to destroy 2 enemy tanks. That we can do. Now, we've got the Reptoid alert up. Essentially, when we've done X amount of damage and caused X amount of chaos, the Reptoids are going to reinforce the map. I don't really know what this does. It doesn't seem to do an awful lot of anything, to be honest. Apparently, it makes more enemies appear, which I guess, but it's... A, it's completely unavoidable. You're not going to get through a mission without triggering it. And B, it doesn't really add that many more enemies, at least not that I can tell. So it's kind of an odd mechanic. Doesn't seem to have too much bearing on the mission, which is good. because as I said, it's unavoidable. Excellent work. You've destroyed their tank forces. Proceed to the landing zone. Now, we could proceed to the landing zone, but we're going to hunt for boxes and Pizza Bear tokens. Hey, friend. Now, I did try to wipe out all the enemies on the map, because that used to be quite fun in Desert Strike. But like I said, I'm pretty sure you can't actually kill everything in this game, because enemies will continuously reinforce, which isn't... I don't know, I'm not a fan of unlimited enemies. I never have been. And it would have been nice to actually like take all these guys out, but you can't. And that does become quite problematic. For instance, yeah, there's plenty of times in the strike games where you would tactically remove all of the enemies from an objective to whittle them down so you could sneak in or do things that are clever. Enemies in this game, they just spawn all over the place. There's no real rhyme or reason behind it. You can't clear a section out. And enemies do seem to be somewhat random in how they spawn as well. So they're very unpredictable. And that's where a lot of the unfair difficulty comes from. Now, this game isn't super difficult, but it's not, you know, it's not the easiest game I've ever played. Now, keep an eye on the map, because you will see where the enemies are reinforcing. Now, you don't have to scour the map for as many pizza tokens as you can find, but these upgrades are absolutely required. At least the health upgrades. Health upgrades and your main gun is essential. Alright. So we've got some more Pizza Bear. Oh, we've got a lot of Pizza Bear tokens here. Now, unfortunately, as we go through the game, these bags of coins don't become more valuable. You seem to get a random amount in there from, say, 60 to 100 tokens. And it's always 60 to 100. Never seems to get any more than that. But then the actual upgrades themselves, in all fairness, aren't that expensive. You know, I think the most expensive upgrade is about 300 tokens, something like that. We are a little bit low on ammo here. Now, if you look at the bottom of the UI, next to our ammo bar in the right corner, you can see there is a handy little meter there that tells us how much ammo we have for our secondary weapons, which is nice. Okay. Now, ooh, cash down here. Now, money that's actually out on the map will show up on your map when you start taking over radars. Money that's hidden within objects does not show up on the map. Ooh. Let's keep these guys busy. Let's grab some more missiles. Or more rockets, I should say. Yeah, the rockets do get a rather nice buff later on. Well, I don't know actually if it's a rather nice buff. It's an interesting buff. I'll explain that when we get there. Each weapon, ooh, that was not good, does get a different version, should I say. When you're halfway down the tree, you get the vanilla rocket pods, for instance, and then later on you upgrade a different type of to a different type of rocket. But it's not super clear cut if the new version is better or if it's just like a different style of weapon. Alright, let's take over you. I think we have just about been everywhere. Now, some missions are definitely better for weapons than others. Right, let's kill you. Oh dear. Or should I say for weapon upgrades than others. Some missions really have like next to nothing on them. And some are pretty generous. Now, I don't know if the cache is actually... We haven't got this one up here. I don't know if the cache is randomly generated or if it's always predetermined. Something that I wouldn't have minded to put to the test, actually. But I did complete this game a few weeks ago now. At least it feels like a few weeks ago. Alright. So, anything that we've missed doesn't look like it. Right, well, let's get out of here. Mission complete. Well done, that man. You can piss off, Mr. Reptoid bastard. Alright. Yeah, we do get some interesting abilities later on. One of my favourites is, or at least in theory, what I thought was going to be one of my favourites was the flares. But that's very disappointing for reasons that we will get into. Mission complete. Nice amount of cash. Hold up, sir. My stomach is still back there somewhere. Slurp. Yum. Haha. Nothing like the first time. Now I'm going to let you in on an old military tradition. Pizza party! Wait. I have 2 for 1 Pizza Bear coupon. Who are you? How did you get past security? I'm Mega Copter, independent journalist and vlogger. I've been following the reptilian story for a few weeks, and I think I can help. Okay, give Jack the coupons, and we'll get the details later. I'm starved. Make mine extra cheese and anchovies. Ugh. You're a strange woman. You're a very strange woman. Right, let's get some upgrades. Definitely want to get as much armor as we possibly can. And improved speed as well is also nice. Now, 20% machine gun magazine. Do it. Alright, now we're broke again. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave this one here. We are on practically on half an hour now. So I hope you're going to enjoy this one. This game is just stupid, silly fun. And it kind of came out of nowhere as well. Always looking out for these strike type games, and to be honest, they're very far and few between, but this was a pleasant surprise. Anyway, if you did enjoy the video, guys, please don't forget to give me a like, and I'll see you in the next one.